Did you guys, when you guys came home, did you guys have any new revelations after being in space for so long?
Oh, great question, Jocelyn. Yeah, I think coming home after being away from home for a long time, it brings out a lot of emotion. I had traveled really far away for work previously in my career. I had never been able to see home and like look at home while I was also away from home. So I spent a lot of time thinking about what that meant to me, and it made my relationships with family and friends just so much more important. And I had also missed my bed very much, but turns out I like a firm mattress now. That's my new post-flight revelation.
We have the most beautiful planet in the solar system. I talked about how cool it is to, maybe to live on the moon or live on Mars, but living on planet Earth is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I also realized that the Earth is a very nice place to live, our home. Especially I went to like a hot spring in Japan. Yeah, I really loved that. And also I realized that my dog really loved me. Yeah, he was so happy.
What about the Earth vegetables?
Oh, no, I don't like that, actually. I don't need that.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Great question, Jocelyn. Thank you. All right, gentleman down here. Yes.
My name is Sawyer. I'm in 7th grade, and this is for the whole crew. How did being in space affect your mind?
Ooh, that's also a great question, Sawyer. Yeah, I think one of the first things I noticed is how quickly your mind adapts to this very three-dimensional environment. On Earth, we're very used to using the top of a table to put something down, and I sleep on a bed, I sit on a chair. When you are weightless, you can use the ceiling the same way you use the walls, and it was amazing to see how quickly my brain just thought that was totally normal. Like, I slept in the ceiling, and it seems totally, totally normal.
I couldn't say it better myself. It's just so it was fun watching all the folks that hadn't done this before, how quickly you adapted to the three-dimensional and flying upside down and just being in close quarters because you could use the whole volume.
When I saw the Earth, actually, I was so surprised to see the very, very thin layer of atmosphere. When I was on the Earth, I thought we have a lot of air, so we can spoil some of them, but actually it is not. So I know that Earth's environment is so fragile, so we need to protect our home. Yeah.
Thank you all. Great question, Sawyer. All right, yes, beautiful in yellow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. What good manners. I didn't see you over here to my left. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Kimbrielle. I'm from Richard Wright Charter School for Arts and Journalism and Media, and I'm in 9th grade. And the question that I have for you is, how are you guys trained? Like, from what I've heard, that you guys had training that prepared your body, or at least made it accustomed to pressure. But what about like training that could simulate like a weightless space?
Yeah, great question, and I think you'll be an excellent journalist if you keep going that route. We spend a lot of time training for the physical side of things and the mental side of things. It is really hard to simulate being weightless when we're here on the ground, but we have a few ways of doing that. One of them is in a giant swimming pool that we have in Houston, Texas. And so if you've ever been in the ocean or been in a pool, you can kind of float, and it feels a lot like being weightless in space. Of course, there's water drag, and that's a little bit different, but it's actually a really great place to practice spacewalking, for example.
Yeah, one of the superpowers that all the astronauts have, and I'll tell you a secret in a second, is that we learn lots of things very quickly. So we have to learn how to speak Russian, we have to learn how to be in a spacesuit, we have to learn which buttons to push, which ones not to push. Zeno's always said, don't push that one. So, but it turns out that all humans have this ability to learn new things. And you guys right now, a lot of you are in school and you're learning new things every day. Well, that's the really cool thing about being human, and that's those same skills you need when you go fly in space.
We have a lot of training, and we trained a lot and learned a lot. But one thing I was not able to train on the ground was how to use toilet on orbit. So zero gravity, it's actually very hard to prove what number one, number two, very hard. One day, my number two was floating here on orbit. It was so surprised. I was so surprised. So I wish we can train how to do the
Thank you
business.
for seeing that and putting it away.
Sorry, it's so dirty, but.
Thank you.
No, valuable lessons. I think, the best way to learn is to ask questions. So we appreciate your observations. Absolutely. All right, my young leader to my right.
My name is Alima. I'm in 10th grade, and my question is for all of you. What things did you guys study or research in the International Space Station, or what studies were going on that were really interesting or that you feel are going to be innovating in the future?
So much awesome research that's happening. It's a national laboratory. There's science happening all the time. And so 1 hour you might be doing microbiology research, and the next hour you're doing astrophysics. It's really cool. I can talk about one of the experiments that I participated in. Some of the science we do is actually on our own human bodies, which I think is really cool because as astronauts in space, we experience a lot of the same changes as immunocompromised populations or aging populations on the ground. And so seeing how our bodies experience those effects, but then also recover from those things once we get back down to Earth is really, hopefully, helpful to people here on Earth. So that was one cool thing that we got to participate in.
I was pretty impressed. My first mission, there were just 2 of us. That was in 2004. Excuse me. This time there were 7 of us. So we had a lot more time to work on science, and it was pretty impressive. A lot of our science actually was sponsored by a company or a university, whereas earlier it wasn't that way. So we're now finding a way to actually help space make money for us, and we're doing that by helping life on planet Earth. So we worked some private with some universities for stem cell research that will help us make some new medicines, new therapies to help people who are sick on Earth, and I thought that was really cool. And I was just impressed with how much science we got done compared to my previous missions. What do you think?
Yes, and you are also using ISS for the technology demo, tech demo, testing new technology for the explorations. For example, JAXA have developed a new CO2 carbon dioxide removal system, and that is much more efficient and much smaller. And that's working very well. So probably we're going to use that technology for the lunar pressurized rover, which is going to, we are developing in order to use that on the surface of the moon. And also we had very interesting experiments. One company actually tried to make sake on orbit, and it was very successful. It smelled very well.
Yes.
So
Were we allowed to taste it?
No, that's too expensive actually. $1 million maybe for the one bottle, but yeah, it was very interesting.